Good morning, my dear students of class 8, and I am happy to welcome you all to today's zoology class. Today's class is going to be a revision class about the lesson called as the circulatory system. Your circulatory system has many parts, out of which is the major part of your circulatory system? The heart, right? So we'll quickly revise about the detailed structure of the heart and the functions of each part, and then we'll learn about the blood vessels all, right? So let's get started. Heart is made up of 4 chambers. This is the structure of human heart, right? So it has 4 important chambers called the upper atrium and the lower ventricles. The upper 2 chambers are called atrium, or atrium is singular and atria is plural, and the lower 2 chambers are the ventricles, right? So in biology, for any image or structure shown on the board or in the textbook, the right side will right side of the image represent the right side. Since this is my right side, I should not tell that this is the right side. The right side of the image is this side, right? So this will be the right side and this will be the left side. It is not this way. Clear? This you should keep in mind. So in heart structure also, this will be the right atrium. I told you the upper chambers are atrium, right? So this is right atrium, this is right ventricle, and this is left atrium, and this is left ventricle. So these 4 you should be clear first. And the right side and the left side is divided into 2 by one thin layer, and that is called as septum. The division between the right side and the left side is called as the septum. And also there is a double walled covering of the heart, and that is called the pericardium. What is the covering of the heart called? A double walled membrane called as pericardium is present, and in between the pericardium there is a fluid like structure, and that fluid is called as pericardial fluid. All these technical terms you should keep in mind. If I give you a diagram and ask you to label, you should know to label it. Or if I ask about the functions, what is the function of a particular part, if I ask also, you should know to tell from exam point of view. Okay. Then what else you have? There are some valves. Can you see? In the right side you have the tricuspid valve. Generally this is called as atrioventricular valve because it is present between the atrium and the ventricles. It is called as atrioventricular valves. In the right side it is called as tricuspid valve, and in the left side again you have a atrioventricular valve, and that is called as bicuspid valve. So these all you should be clear. You can remember this way, tri. You have a in R in tri, no? It is in the right side, R and R. So always tricuspid on the right side. Clear? And you have 4 more tubes present whose function also you should be aware of. Okay. So first point what you should remember is always in this side. What is this side called as? It is the left side, right? Left side always carry out oxygenated blood. Left side always carries oxygenated blood, and right side always carry deoxygenated blood. What is oxygenated blood? Blood which is rich in oxygen is oxygenated blood, right? So right side has oxygenated blood. See, you have 2 tubes here. The upper one is called aorta and the lower one is called pulmonary vein. So aorta and pulmonary vein. What is the function of pulmonary vein? It will carry oxygenated blood from the lungs. Always when something is entering from the lungs, it will be rich in oxygen because lungs is rich in oxygen, no? So the blood which arises from the lungs is also rich in oxygen. That is why it is called as oxygenated blood. So oxygenated blood from the lungs enters into the heart through the pulmonary veins. This you have to remember. And again this tube, which is the aorta, sends out oxygenated blood throughout the body. So oxygenated blood from the heart goes out through the aorta to all parts of the body. This also you have to keep in mind. There are two more valves here, superior vena cava and pulmonary artery. This one is the pulmonary artery which gives deoxygenated, I told you, this part fully has deoxygenated blood. So the deoxygenated blood will move away from the heart through the pulmonary artery to the lungs. Why it has to go to the lungs? Because when it reaches the lungs, it will get oxygen and it will become a oxygenated blood. So these all you have to remember for exam point of view. Next we will revise about blood cells and blood vessels. There are three types of blood cells in the blood. They are RBC, WBC and platelets. What are the three types of cells present in the blood? RBCs, which are red blood cells, WBC, which are white blood cells, and platelets. So let's revise about their functions. What do RBC do? The major function of RBC is to carry oxygen. When we talk that oxygen is carried by the blood, the actual thing which is carrying the blood is RBC. Blood itself cannot carry oxygen, only the RBC cells can carry the oxygen. Because of its biconcave shape, it will hold the oxygen in it. Clear? So this RBC cells contain a pigment which is called as hemoglobin. What is the name of the pigment? Hemoglobin. And hemoglobin is responsible for the red color of the red blood cells. Red blood cells are red in color because of the presence of hemoglobin, which is the heme containing pigment. What is heme? Heme means iron. So iron containing pigment is hemoglobin. What is the function of WBC cells? WBC cells determine the immunity of a person. If a person has more WBC cells, then that person is said to be with more immunity. Okay, WBC determines the immunity of the person. Why so? Because these WBC cells have a special property to destroy the bacteria. Suppose if a disease causing bacteria enters into a person's body, if there are WBC cells, then it can destroy the bacteria, and thus the person will be free from diseases. Okay, so this is the reason why WBC cells renders immunity to a person's body. Then what about platelets? Platelets are types of cells which are responsible for blood clotting. Suppose if there is a cut in a person's body, blood will flow out, right? So it has to clot at some point, and this is controlled by the type of cells called platelets. If the platelet count is less in a person's body, then it may not support proper blood clotting. Blood has to clot whenever there is a cut in your body. Then what are blood vessels? There are three types of blood vessels in your body called arteries, veins and capillaries. What are the three types of blood vessels in your body? Arteries, veins and capillaries. Remember that arteries always carry oxygenated blood, that is good blood or blood rich in oxygen. Veins always carry deoxygenated blood, that is blood which is rich in carbon dioxide. And what are these capillaries? Capillaries always connect arteries and veins together. Okay, it is a intermediate which can connect arteries with the veins. This you have to remember. What are the properties of arteries? Arteries always have a very thick wall, and also they are elastic in nature. When you pull, it can take back to its original position. And I told you already, it carries oxygenated blood, and these arteries are further branched into smaller arteries, and those smaller branches are called by the term arterioles. So arteries are branched into arterioles. Similarly, about the structure of the veins, these have a thinner wall when compared to the arteries. So compared to the arteries, their walls are thin and less elastic. They are not more elastic such as the arteries, and they carry deoxygenated blood, that is blood rich in carbon dioxide. Similar to the arterial branches, veins are also branched into small branches, and they are called by the term veinlets. So arterioles and veinlets. These terms also you have to remember. And as I told you already, capillaries are the ones which will link the arteries with the veins, and it is the place where there is exchange of gases or nutrients between the arteries and the veins. So this is about the blood cells and blood vessels. Then we will revise about double circulation. Human circulatory system is called double circulation because there are two types of circulation called pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. Systemic circulation is circulation of blood in the systems, that is the organ systems in your body, and pulmonary circulation will take root from the heart. The blood flow will start from the heart, it will reach the lungs for purification, and once again it will return back to the heart. So this flow is called pulmonary circulation. What about systemic circulation? Blood flow will start from the heart, it will travel to all the organ systems of your body, and once again with the impure blood or deoxygenated blood, which is rich in oxygen, because all the organs of the body will give the blood oxygen, carbon dioxide, and with the carbon dioxide once again it will reach the heart. So this system is called systemic circulation. And let's see the cause of blood circulation. There are 6 steps for the process of blood circulation. In the first step, deoxygenated blood from all the parts of your body will enter through the superior vena cava to the right atrium. Where is the right atrium? This is the right atrium. Which is the superior vena cava? This tube is the superior vena cava. So the first step is deoxygenated blood. So after traveling to all parts of your body, the blood will have more carbon dioxide, no? So that deoxygenated blood will enter the right atrium, this chamber, through the superior vena cava. Yeah, this is the first step. At the same time, in the left side, what is happening? Oxygenated blood from the lungs. Lungs always give pure oxygen because it is rich in oxygen, it will give pure blood, that is oxygenated blood. So at the time where deoxygenated blood reaches this chamber, in the next side the oxygenated blood from the lungs will enter into the left atrium. So right atrium deoxygenated blood and left atrium will have oxygenated blood from the lungs through the pulmonary vein. Which is the pulmonary vein? This is the pulmonary vein. This is the second step. Actually step 1 and 2 occur simultaneously. In step 3, both the right auricle and the left auricle, that is both the upper chambers, will contract. Once it contracts, the blood will be pushed from the auricles into the ventricles. This is step 3. In step 4, the tricuspid and the bicuspid valve will close. Where are the tricuspid and bicuspid valves? These two valves, right? They will be closed to prevent backflow of blood. Blood should not flow in the reverse direction, no? So both the valves are closed. That is step 4. What is step 5? In step 5, the ventricles will contract. These lower chambers, no? Both the ventricles will contract, and when they contract, the blood will be pushed out of the heart. This is step 5 and step 6. So through which valves the blood will flow out of the heart? Through the aorta. It will flow out of the heart to all parts of the body. This is step 6. So these are the 6 steps in the process of blood circulation. Finally, we will revise about blood grouping. For blood grouping, you should know certain terms. What are they? Antigens and antibodies. What are antigens? On the surface of the red blood cells, the RBC cells, you have some proteins, and those proteins are called as antigens. There are different types of antigens called A antigen and B antigen on the surface of the RBC cells, and it will vary from person to person, and that's why our blood group also varies. What about antibodies? Where it is found? Antibodies are found in the plasma of your blood. What is plasma? When you centrifuge your blood, like in hospitals all, you can see a centrifugation machine. So if you put the blood in that centrifugation machine, no, it will separate the liquid portion of the blood separately from the cells of the blood. So that liquid portion is called plasma, and in this plasma only you can find antibodies. There are two types of antibodies again, antibody A and antibody B, and always keep in mind, if it is represented by capital letter it is antigen, and if it is represented by small letter then it means it is antibodies. There are four types of blood groups based on Karl Landsteiner. He is the one who grouped blood groups into four called AB and O blood group. So how these blood groups are typed? A person with A blood group will have antigen. See, these circles are all, which is pink in color, are all antigen A, and this square shaped green color are all B antigens, and the one with this structure is B antibody, and the one with semicircular structure is A antibody. So a person with blood group A will have antigen A on the surface of RBC cells and antibody B. This chart, no, you have to memorize. This combination will always happen. It cannot be the other way. Blood group person will have antigen A but antibody B. Similarly, B blood group person will have antigen B but antibody A, and AB blood group person will have both the type of antigens but no antibodies at all. What about O blood group person? They will have no antibodies at all as well as no antigens. This chart you have to memorize. Clear? Then there are certain conditions which blood group person can receive blood from which blood group people, like that. This also you have to know. O blood group person can donate blood to all the blood group people because they are called as universal donors. Then A blood group person can give blood group to AB blood group type and A blood group type, and B to B and AB only to AB. This also you have to memorize. So always universal donors are O blood group people because they can donate blood to any recipient with any blood group. Then universal recipient, AB blood group people, no, they can receive from all the blood group types, so they are called as universal recipients. So this is a quick revision about the lesson circulatory system for today. Keep studying well for your exams. Until I meet you in your next biology class, you all take care and bye bye.